Be a part of the story. What does that even mean? In today's video, I'm gonna tell you guys more of where we're going as a channel, where we're going as a brand, and where we're going as a family. You know, whether you realize it or not, if you've been watching our videos and our channel for a while, or whether you're brand new, you are watching a story of redemption and forgiveness play out right in front of you. So we're gonna talk about that today in today's video, and I'm also gonna tell you guys about a awesome commercial that I saw Super Bowl Sunday. Maybe you've seen it too, so you're gonna wanna stick around and see what's coming next. So when we were dreaming up Prodigal Overland, we wanted to be able to tell a story. Now, not just a story about this Jeep that overcomes obstacles, which it's kind of been, but if that's all we're doing here at Prodigal Overland, then we are missing out and not fulfilling what we set out to do. Whether you know it or not, when you watch this channel, you are watching a story of redemption, of forgiveness, of second chances. Lauren and I did not just have this super awesome experience in life and thought, hey, let's change all of that and move into something completely different. You know, this idea, this brand was launched out of trials and a rough spot in our marriage and just was birthed out of pain. And so as we've moved forward and as we grow and hopefully continue to grow, like, we just really want everybody watching at home to realize that there is a story being played out here. And if you've been out with us on the trail, if you've met us in person, if you've talked to us online or on the phone, hopefully what comes out is that this is more than a Jeep channel. This is more than just taking people out off-road. When we invite you guys at home to be a part of the story, to be a part of our story, really what we're inviting you guys to do is to be a part of a story of redemption, of forgiveness, of second chances. We live in a world today that is so unbelievably fractured, especially here in the US. We've got teams, man. Boy, do we have teams. Increasingly, we are being broken into camps based on what we believe. And if you don't believe the right things or say the right things, boy, there's a good chance that you're just going to be canceled, and we're just going to remove your influence completely. And it's just drawing, and it's leading to a state of fear and anxiety and just like out to get each other kind of sense. And it's not a healthy thing, you know, and it's not bringing us to a good spot. You know, when we were watching the Super Bowl, there was a commercial that came out, and if you haven't seen this commercial, I will link it below, but it was put out by Jeep, so I was a little bit proud. But it was Jeep, and it was meet in the middle, and it's talking about our country, the United States, and that in the exact center of our country, which I guess is somewhere around Kansas, of the lower 48, there's a chapel, and it just said that this small tiny chapel is open 24 hours a day. It's open to everyone who comes, and it was talking about this idea of it's been tough to come and meet in the middle lately, acknowledging that this past year or these past couple years, or even looking forward, that it sure seems like it's going to be real tough for people to come together and to be able to meet together if we don't think the same things, if we don't look the same way and believe as each other's believes. But it's just saying in this commercial that the best of our country and the best of us has always been when light triumphs over darkness, when we make the hard choices of coming together, when we're able to overlook offenses, when we're able to move past our own biases and reach out and realize that there is far more that connects us than divides us. There was a time in my life when basically everybody I knew thought and behaved like I behaved. And going from a very conservative upbringing, a loving upbringing, mom and dad, if you're watching this, but certainly there were times in my life when everybody I was friends with was a Christian and went to church and basically thought most of the things that I thought, and honestly, like, I thought I pretty much had it all figured out. And then things in my life kind of took a side spin and didn't go where I needed it to go, and it really made me question kind of my faith and some things about how I had been living. And kind of during that journey and that transition from that small town, we moved to an area of Dallas that was pretty progressive and liberal, and just an area that was in transition. So there were socioeconomic differences between the people who lived there. There were skin color differences. There were straight people and gay people, and it was refreshing for me to learn that we can speak truth as Lauren and I are Christians, and try our hardest to follow Jesus. And Jesus had just this amazing way of engaging the people around him. And whether you realize it or not, as a Christian or not a Christian, like, Jesus really was quite different than anybody else he met. And I feel like today, Christians, or at least where I was coming from, I won't speak for everybody, but from where I was coming from, I had no idea how to really engage and befriend someone that didn't think the things that I thought and believe the things that I believed. And it was refreshing for me to be able to step out of that world into a world where I was really in a world where most people didn't think like I thought or believe the things that I believe, and still find that I could speak truth, that I could be myself, that I could love people that didn't believe or think like me, and that they could love me back, and that we could say truthfully where we're coming from and share our stories and still find common ground. And I think the reason for that is because truly I believe that we are all made by the same God. That the same God that made me made you, whether you're watching this in Russia or Australia or Germany or England or Korea. Like, we have had feedback from so many people around the world that leave comments and they'll say, hey, I'm from here, but I just truly believe that we are all made by the same Creator. And because of that, his fingerprints are on all of us. And so if you look for connection points instead of looking and seeing only what divides you, it becomes much more easy to find those connection points and to realize that we're not that different. Over this past year, as we travel, we've been able to connect with people from across the country, people that have varying backgrounds, whether it be from a military background or from an inner city background, from different cultures, African American, Caucasian, and different religious standpoints, people that believe like we believe and believe in Jesus, and folks that don't. And what has been not so surprising to me now is that we're still able to find connection points, and that we can still go out and have an adventure and have fun and feel like we've made good friends. And in our society today, in our culture, we are losing that ability. We are losing the ability to connect with folks that don't think or believe or behave like we do. I got an email not too long ago, a little message on YouTube from a guy that had seen our video out in Sedona, where we got together with Glenn and Rick and Pam. And I think for this gentleman, it was one of the first times he had seen a black man, as Glenn is, come out and on an off-roading event. And he said, I watch these videos, these overlanding and off-roading videos, and it seems like it's most of the time a lot of white folks. And he was just like, I'm so encouraged to see that you're willing, and that there's a brother. I think he said there's a brother out there with you having a good time, and he just said, I would love to meet up with you guys sometime, and I hope we get to. And it just, man, like, for real, 2021, and we're still talking about that stuff. And it's still, I think, even being heightened, that if our skin colors are different, that maybe we can't get along. And guys, man, it hurts, it just shouldn't be. It shouldn't be that way. Anyway, so we just want you guys at home to know that when we invite you to be a part of the story, we're inviting you to come out, to be a part of a story of redemption, of forgiveness, of being willing to step out of your bubble and engage with the world around you. I think this coronavirus and certainly not done anything to help people feel like they can engage with people they don't know. You know, what if that person has coronavirus? What if this? And there's so much fear out there, and not that coronavirus isn't real, so don't take me that way either. But guys, it's like we're so polarized. We're either this or we're that. We're for masks or we're strongly against them. It's a hoax or it's a real thing. It's, you know, it's strong left or strong right. And it's just dividing us. And so anyway, when we saw that commercial, Meet in the Middle from Jeep, we were like, yes, we need to come together and to be able to meet together. You know, Lauren and I have kind of thought like, we want to be more about just a Jeep Grand Cherokee going out on trails, and we hopefully are able to tell a story of redemption and a story that things can be very different from the culture, certainly, that it seems to be prevailing right now. And it's at the same time, it can see super overwhelming, because how can one person do anything different? And the fact of the matter is we can't. You know, we are not going to change the world, but maybe we can change it just a little bit for some folks. And so I wanted to use this video to talk about some things that we're going to be doing here coming up. Coming up, we are going to be launching a Facebook group for folks that are either patrons of ours, and I'll put a link to that below, but who help support us, or people that have been out on a trip with us. We want to try to find ways that after you've made contact with us, or been out and met other folks, often there's some phone numbers exchanged and that sort of thing, specifically because as we travel, we find that we're kind of drawing people from similar geographic locations, but we want to find a way to keep some of that connection going as best we can. Personally, I strongly favor a face-to-face around a campfire, or just around a good beer, or around a meal, to get to know someone and to share life with somebody. But we realize that that's not always possible. So we will be starting a Facebook group. So if you, like I said, have been out with us on a trip, if you're a patron, and if you're not a patron, you've been thinking about it, maybe now's a good time to get in on that. But we want to start a Facebook group specifically for you guys, where we can, yes, talk about Jeep stuff and answer questions, but just to do other things to try to connect and relate, whether that's online poker, which maybe no one else in the world's interested in, or just Zoom calls, or just to find things that we can engage with each other even when we might be miles apart. Additionally, we have been announcing over the last few weeks several trips that are coming up. We are trying to get to a spot where we are able to plan and announce trips a good 6 months out, and so we are there. So if you've not been to our website yet and looked at those events, head over there, look at them. Right now, for most of the events, unless Lauren has really kind of been able to tackle all of this, you're going to see interest forms. Feel free to put out an interest. Say, hey, I'm this trip in Moab, I'm interested, let me know more details. Or Colorado, or wherever we're going to be. We've already had several folks do that. The next step, and if you do that, you're going to be one of the first ones that when that event goes live, we're going to send out an email to you and say, hey, it's live now, you can register. You know, so hopefully that's a way that we can all kind of get together and do just a little bit to try to see more commonality than difference in each other. If I've done this correctly, as you guys are watching this, we will be out on the trail with some new friends, and we so much enjoy being able to connect with folks. We're going to be doing an event here in Arkansas in just a few days. It's going to be a very, very cold event, so hopefully everything goes safely and well, and we've got some fun stories coming out from that. Guys, thank you so much for your time. Thanks for watching. Hopefully this video was coherent, but again, we just really appreciate the support. If you guys have thoughts and comments, leave them below. Give us a thumbs up if you liked it, and if you've not yet subscribed to this channel, consider doing that. And either way, we will see you guys again real soon.